Hello everybody and welcome back to Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson. And today I have a repotting video of my beautiful Gynera aurantiaca. And this beautiful Gynera aurantiaca is a cutting that I got from one of my friends that I decided to chop up into extra small pieces to make myself a lovely little bush. And this plant, when I put it out as propagations in water, it grew roots so amazingly quick. I mean, this has got to be one of the absolute quickest and easiest plants to propagate in water that you've ever tried before. I can say pothos, epipremnum, philodendrons, go home. This plant, I'm telling you, it gets roots within 3 days. Yes, you heard me right. You can put this in water and in 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, depending on your condition, but very quickly, this plant will start flushing out roots and they will grow quick as well. Within a week, I'm telling you, you will have propagations like the ones you can see in this glass vase next to me here, with long roots. And I am going to show you my beautiful plant here closer up. It's also known as the velvet plant or the purple passion or something like that. I'm not really good at all these common names because I try to stick to the scientific names because I have to remember all these names in English, Danish, Swedish, and they all have different common names for the plants in all the different languages and many different common names as well. So I don't want to waste my time learning all these common names, and that is why I use the scientific names, people, if you were wondering, okay? So I've got to bring this beautiful plant in for a closer look so you can see my mother plant cuttings that have been doing very well. They grew up to about this tall. So the ones you see in the vase next to me are all the top shoots that I've cut off. And where I've cut them off of the main plant, it's flushing out right at the top of the stem, plus all of the sides. So where there are already a large leaf, there are young leaves coming out, or I should say stems and new leaves coming out. It's an absolutely amazing plant. So my idea with this video is I'm going to be upgrading this plant into a bigger pot. So I have a black pot next to me here with soil, a good potting mix. I haven't added perlite, I haven't added wood chunks. This plant, I found out, really does like to stay moist. And when I mean moist soil, but not sitting in cloggy water in the soil. So wet soil, moist soil, but not clogged down, otherwise it will start rotting. But it does not like to dry out at all. As soon as this plant starts drying out, it will wilt all over the place. But you'll find when you get back to watering it again, it quickly puffs up and looks wonderful again. But not too much of missing the watering because you will start seeing the effects will be detrimental to your plant in the long run. So keep your plant lovely and moist. Now, let me bring it in because it's got so much going on. So look here, look at that beautiful plant. Look at those beautiful leaves. They're lovely and dark green on top, and they've got this very velvety kind of texture to them with all these purple hairs that grow all over the leaves and the stems and everything that give it this wonderful purpley glow. So it's dark green and then you just get this purple glow all over it. So if you catch it in the light in the right way, like you can see here, so look at those leaves behind. They look completely purple, but it's not a purple color on the back side of the leaves. It's all of the hair filaments that shine and reflect the light and create this purpley glow. It's absolutely amazing. It's a wonderful plant. And look at where I have pruned it back on the top here. You can see all the new leaves coming out and all the new leaves coming out of the sides here at the bottom of the petioles of the larger leaves where it joins the stem. You can see there are new shoots of stems that are about to come out because I pruned off the top. And if I show you this from this angle, you can see this lovely new set of leaves on this stem here and these two here coming out here. And if you look at this piece here, exactly on top of where I prune back the plant, this plant is flushing out new stems and leaves. And that is very unusual because usually you'll get just the flush out on the sides on the stem, but not exactly on top where you just prune back. It will go on and keep producing lots more leaves, lots more of that beautiful purple color. Oh, it's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. Oh, it's just gorgeous. Just to think, these are bigger than the cuttings I got from my friend. I mean, I probably got a couple of inches, and I put those in the water, and I was so shocked that they got those roots in a couple of days, and then I planted those out, and then they grew into these plants that just got like this, and I had to cut them back because I didn't want them to start doing this vining straight away, because this plant you can keep as a bush by keep pruning back and putting the pieces you prune off into the same pot and bush it out, or you can let it grow into a vining plant and it will probably get a good couple of meters long. But you'll get a long straggly plant, it can hang down, or you can have it vining up around something. But this plant looks much better as a robust bush because then you'll get that really powerful purple effect because there'll be a lot more leaves in one area. So up to you how you do it. I've decided I want to keep this as a bush, and that's why I'm upgrading it into a new pot where I can keep putting all my new cuttings in to make it thicker and thicker and thicker and bushier and bushier and bushier, because it's just an absolute beautiful plant. So let me show you now the cuttings that I've taken that are propagating in water. So these are my beautiful cuttings of my beautiful Gynera arratiaca. And well, I think I've got 4 or 5 different cuttings going on here propagating, and they have been in this vase now for a week, and just look at the size of those roots. Look at those roots. They are looking wonderful. They're white, they're long, and they're ready to be put in water straight away. And look at that lovely purple glow of all of the leaves of this wonderful plant. And then as you turn it around, that dark green again. It's an amazing treat. Look at that. I just love it. Those roots are doing so amazingly. And this just shows you how easy it is to propagate this plant. So now I want to get all these into the same pot with the other plant, let it get a bit taller, do some more propagations, fill up the pot even more, and just keep doing that. So let's get on with putting these lovely propagations into the pot with the rest of my plant. So first I just need to get my plastic nursery pot that I need to bring into frame. I've already put the soil in this pot so that I can get quickly on with transplanting these beautiful cuttings into this pot of soil here. So I got myself a normal spoon and I'm just going to get these up, and I hope that I can just get them up as much as possible with their root ball and disturb it as little as possible and put them to kind of one side, because then I can carry on filling up around the other side with these cuttings and more as it grows out. So let's just get in here and see how it is going. Oh, that's coming up really easy as one big lump, just as I hoped. So I'm just going to try and get my spoon right in under there and just lift this out. Now look at that. Oh, lovely roots. And it moved over into the new pot, basically without even knowing it's been moved, because I've hardly touched the roots, which is exactly what I wanted to do. There's a bit of root hanging there. It's very long. It needs to get into this pot. And yeah, I can just put that straight to that edge and put some soil around to keep it in place. But now I need to fill up more. I will use some of the soil that's already in here. This soil that I have here does actually have perlite and so forth in it. So I can put that in to use it up, to hold this in place, to keep the plant happy with the same soil. And then I can just add a bit more of new soil that I have by me here as well. Already prepared. Put that in as well, so that I can just carry on this wonderful process of adding the other cuttings in here. this is just going to go so easy, so quick. And this time, I'm going to do myself the favour of not filling it up too much with soil because I really have a bad problem of doing that. Every time I say to you out there, don't fill up your pots to the edge because when you water them, it's going to go over the edge or it's going to be difficult for you to water and it's going to be a nightmare and you're going to have to move stuff and I do it myself every time. But no, I'm not going to this time. Now I know. Right, now, I've got an inch all the way down before the top and this plant's going to bush out, so I won't see that, so I'm not adding any more. So what I'm going to do now is just get in and plant these other cuttings straight into this pot. This is going to be easy peasy, I'm sure, but I just need to be careful with the lovely, delicate roots anyway. They're a little bit stuck together, all sorts. Oh, they really are, yes, actually. It's a bit difficult. Oh, wow. Those roots. I'm going to bring this closer so you can see these beautiful roots. Look at those beautiful roots. I'm trying to get one cutting off, but I've got a few. Oh, it's a bit difficult. They are actually a bit stuck together and so forth. That works. Now look at those lovely roots. So let's get these into that pot. Try and put these back in there for a minute while I work with the first ones here. And these are actually two. And they're basically one leaf, and they're already growing stems out. So it's just amazing with this plant. It is so easy to propagate. So basically, put the first one in over here. All those roots into a little hole. Push a hole. Try and get those roots into the hole as much as possible. And then push a bit of soil around. And you don't have to be hard, just a little bit together, and then that's it. The plant will do the rest itself. Next one, in here, push your finger in, push those roots down in that hole, put the soil gently around, and you're done because you're going to water it in anyway, and the plant will figure out the rest itself. See, another one here, one leaf, with a new stem coming out and roots. So basically you can propagate every single piece of the main stem and it will grow out. And you can actually even just probably propagate straight from the petioles. I think this plant grows from everything. So easy, so nice. So now I have some more that are pretty stuck together here. See who's next. This one. Oh, this one managed to grow out. I'll bring this closer. So look at this one. This one managed to grow out roots and the main leaf here with the petiole, and then the stem has just managed to grow out all of this with 3 new leaves on it already. Look at that. Just amazing. So into the pot with this lovely little one. Get me more near the middle because I'm going to be able to make space later on for more cuttings that I will be adding because I want this to be very thick, this, so that it really does look nice. And then I've got 2 more. Got another big tall one here. Lovely big roots and it's already growing up and out. Lovely coloration, looks very healthy. Let's get it into the pot. So this one is going to go in here and then I just have one with a leaf left. This one into the hole, roots in, a little bit of soil around, keep it moist, and there we go. And then the last one, I'm just going to put the back here, same thing, place it at the back where there's a gap, and then in it goes. So, quick and easy, that was it done. The new propagations are in with the rest of the plant. They are going to grow up and flush out in this bigger pot in no time. I will be able to take more propagations in probably only just 2 weeks when this plant is up here, back into the glass vase for propagation, and then add in wherever there's any holes in this pot till I get that thick, lush look I am looking for. And then after a while, I might start letting it vine up a little bit more, but I do really want to keep this bushy effect, so I might go on and do 2 different types This one as a bushy plant, and another one where I put them in around a totem because you know I love staking plants, and then let them all grow up around a stake and see what that looks like with this beautiful purple and dark green effect going up a stake around 1 meter high. Wouldn't that be gorgeous? So that will be something that I'm probably going to try in the future, and you'll see that when the time comes. So anyway, I want to put this lovely bundle now into a lovely white ceramic pot so that it really makes this plant pop, because then the purple will flush out even more with the white around the base, and the darker green leaves will look gorgeous too, because in a black pot it's not really reflecting the light enough to give this a beautiful shimmer. So let me get my cover pot. Oh, it's just behind me. And put this plant straight into the new cover pot. Just like that. So all of a sudden I've got a much bigger plant than I had before. Because look, this is in this pot now, and it started in this pot. So I went in this video from that to that, and I am telling you, in a couple of weeks, this will be a bush. It will be a monster. So let me now bring it in for a good old closer look. Now look at this. I'll swivel it around as much as I can. They are the more mature cuttings that I had, that I also pruned and made into more cuttings. And then at the front here now, you can see all the new propagations in soil, and they've basically filled out this pot straight away. I thought that philodendrons and epipremnums were like the best and fastest plants to grow and propagate in water and so forth, and Scindapsus, but no, I'm telling you, they can all go home, because this plant does it for you in half the time, and you'll get a beautiful effect. And look at the colours. It's just an amazing plant. The only thing about this plant compared to all those plants that I was just saying about is that this plant needs to be kept moist. You really do need to keep this plant moist. This isn't a dry loving plant. Doesn't like to be soggy and bogged down. Remember that. So the water needs to be able to drain through, but the soil does need to be constantly moist. Otherwise it will quickly droop. And surprisingly enough, this plant comes from the genus Asteraceae, which is the daisy family. And well, it doesn't really look like the rest of the daisies, does it? But it comes from the same family, and well, you can just appreciate it for what it is itself, because it's just amazing. Look at that. You wouldn't even know that I put propagations in this pot and done anything today. You would just think this was a plant like this, and I've been out raiding the rack and I wanted to show you what I bought. But this is me showing you that you can go ahead and propagate your plants and get great results with easy plants like this, as long as it's kept moist. Free-flowing, good soil, aerating soil, just so that the water can go through it. But I haven't added anything else to this pot, to this soil, because I do really want to make sure that this plant can stay moist most of the time. And it's a very easy care plant when it comes to the watering as well, because well, you can just keep an eye on it. As soon as it slightly starts drooping, you know you need to get in there and water. And that will be every good 3 days or so, probably. In more soil like this, in a bigger pot, maybe I'll get away with watering it once a week. But I usually do water it every 3 days or so, just to keep it very happy. And it's doing so well. So anyway, I need to get on and water this plant now, so it is happy. I'll do that. So I magically got myself a little watering can here. Now I'm going to get in and water this plant because it's starting to pout already. It's starting to already fold over a little bit. And that is because it needs water straight away after it's been repotted and moved around. Now I just did something there that you shouldn't do. I forgot to mention this, and don't copy me, okay? That's why it's always good to show we can make mistakes, things like that. This plant doesn't like getting water on its leaves. It's kind of okay if you water and you get water on the leaves like that, but try and flick it off again. And don't let any water rest on the leaves, because the leaves will start browning out if they get too much water just laying on them. They really, really don't like that. They like to keep their leaves dry and water around them or from the bottom. A little bit like that, like I did. It's not going to do much harm. but try not to like shower it or anything like that. It's kind of like a St. Pauli and African violet. They don't like it on their leaves either. So you need to remember to kind of think of this plant in the same way. And while we talk about African violet or St. Paula, I'm going to show you mine. This is my beautiful St. Pauli that is flowering, and this was a bargain plant I got when I was out raiding the rack. I actually got this on the bargain shelf, and it was put down in price to only 10 Swedish kroners, and it has just been doing very well for me, flushed out all these lovely leaves, and now it's flowering with these beautiful pink flowers all over, and it's very happy. It's grown a lot since I've had it. Beautiful plant, huh? Another plant that likes to be watered from the bottom, so I always take it out, just cover a pot, put the water in the bottom of the pot, and I just plonk the plant on top of that and let it suck up itself. Do not get water on these leaves because they will brown out, they will mush, they will just disintegrate and die. This plant does not like being wet from the top too much. So that's why I just wanted to quickly show this plant at the same time, because it's kind of the same kind of thing, even though the Gynara aurantiaca isn't as sensitive as this plant. It can take a little bit of water on it, but just don't do it too much and let water lay on the leaves too long, and then you'll be okay. But look at that again. I just wanted to show that off while she's in the process of producing me beautiful flowers. My little rescue plant. Oh, I'm so pleased about that. My beautiful St. Paulia, my beautiful African violet. So, shake off that water now. I just want to give her a little bit more water around the bottom. I really do want to make sure, oops, don't you fall over water everywhere now, that they're really well watered in, these new young ones. Yeah, I think they're absolutely fine now. For now, getting water everywhere as well. I'll check again in a couple of days, 2 days or so, and see how much more water it needs. Any leaves that are down in the soil, try to get them up off the soil because they will just rot and brown out. And if you're not able to get those up, you can prune some of the bottom leaves away as the plant grows up to keep them up away from the soil. And then it should be fine. I just need to flick off some more of this water now that I've got all over. But I'm sure that's going to be fine. Yeah, they're going to be absolutely wonderful. Anyway, I need to close off this video now because I've been going on so long about this beautiful, beautiful plant that is native to Southeastern Asia. So it comes from lovely tropical areas. So it does like to keep a nice, moderate house temperature. Doesn't like to be cold. And in warmer climates, this plant can be grown out in the garden and it will just vine along and look beautiful. And in some countries, it's actually become a nuisance because people have done that and it does grow quite well and it's escaped into the wild. So plants that aren't native to your area, don't go just planting them out in your garden and all over the place because they're not part of the ecosystem in your area and they can escape and they can start taking over as an invasive species. So be careful what you're doing out there, okay? But I'm all done with this now. Oh, this just got a little bit heavier because I filled it with water. But anyway, all I have to say now is thank you very much for watching Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell so you know when my next video will be uploaded. And I will see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.